video series on 100 days of competitive programming. And this is the first video of the series, and I will be using C++ to explain some of the concepts of the question called transform the equation or the code ONP, right? So, starting with the question. Now, the question name is transform the expression, and let me just read it out in very short and concise way, because obviously you can always go to codechef.com and check out this question, right? So this question says that there is this thing called reverse Polish notation, that is RPN, and in this notation, every expression is rewritten in some other format. Now this says that 3, 4 plus, this is the RPN format of 3 plus 4. So it is saying that 3 plus 4 may be written as 3, 4 plus. Okay. Uh, Taking another example, so 3 minus 4 plus 5, what it would be? So it says that it would be 3, 4 minus 5 and then plus. Okay, this thing. So what it suggests that it doesn't necessarily follow the DMAS rule, which we learned in the school, that is called division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction sequence of performing arithmetic operations. So this is not true here. We need to take care of this thing. Like, we need to understand what the question is exactly asking. Also, we can assume that test cases below, uh, which I will show you later on, and like single letters will be used, brackets will, this square bracket will not be used, like we'll not be using this bracket, we'll be only using this bracket, and the expression we need to print out will be in the form of RPN. So now let me just show you how the input and output thing will look like. So the first input that we have is number of test cases. So it is given that it is less than 100, so we can take int for this. Now followed by t lines, there will be some expression, like there will be some string that will be input, and we need to translate that to the RPN form. So input, talking about input, so it will be, first will be integer, which will give us the number of test cases, and second will be some string. Okay, so we can store it whatever in whatever way we like. Okay, so moving ahead, uh, yeah, so now let's take some examples in understanding how the things is being done here. So the first example that you can see here is bracket a plus bracket b multiplication c bracket close. Okay, so now let's start from basic with basics. Like, let's say this is our string and these are the indices. So let's start from here, the first position. Okay, so this is our s of 0, and here we can see that this bracket opens. Like, whenever this bracket is present, we just have to continue, like we have to move forward. Like, it doesn't ask us to do anything else, like any other thing, like there is no other operations being closed or anything like that. So we just need to continue, like we have to move forward. So now there comes the a, and after this there is an operand. Okay, now the thing that you can see in the output is a, b, c, star, and plus. Let's first understand this. uh, Now we see that there is a bracket, so we will first perform this thing. So a plus, it will look something like this: a, b, and c star. Okay, so now the operand should move right after this thing, right after this thing. Okay, so it will look like a, b, c star and then plus. Okay, so thing that we need to take care of, that whenever we find a operand, we need to move it after the strings that we see. Okay, so we can use something which can store it temporarily with it, and then we can simply add it in our output string. So let's say that we have an output string that we can initialize as an empty string. Okay, let's say this string is empty right now, and what we can see here that we need to now print this thing. So whenever we find an alphabet or a element which is alphabet, so we will just add it to our output string a, and whenever we'll find an operand, we will add it to some other stories like uh, something. This might be an array or something else, but will take care of the the position things later on after understanding how this whole thing is working. So next we find this element b. So we add this thing to our output string, and then again we find an operand that is star. So we again move this star to somewhere else in some other storage, and then we can find c. We will add c in our output string. Now the output that you can see here is star first, but we came across star second time, like it was our last operand, but it is the first operand to appear in output. Okay, this star, it is the first to appear in the output, so we'll add it here, and then followed by plus sign. So what we can see here is last in first out, like LIFO. So now this thing might be sparking something like a stack in your mind. You must have begun thinking of a stack right now. So if you don't know what is stack, I'll tell you. Stack is simply stacking something over each other. Like let's say you are washing plates in your house, and you start stacking plates over each other. And now that if you see, the first plate which was stacked was here, one, two, three. But now that you want to pull out a plate from here, so which plate you are going to pull out first? That is number three. So last in and first out. This is called LIFO. Or so now what we will do whenever we come across this thing, like you see, we come across this thing. So what we'll do? Sorry. Yeah. So now what we have to do? Whenever we come across an operand, we'll just add it to our stack. Okay. So let's say I have seen it here. I will push it to my stack. So it will come here. Now I found star. It will come here. Okay. So now since we can store the star here only, now how to get it back in our answer string? So I told you clearly that whenever we find an alphabet, we start adding it to an empty output string. And what we'll do now, we'll look for this closing bracket. This closing bracket means that the operation is completed, right? So whenever we find a closing bracket, we will pop the stack. Now popping the stack means taking something out. So to take something out, like it is like putting it back here in our output string. So we can use a concept that is called top. So basically whatever is in top of the stack, we can just call it by stack dot top in C++, right? So after taking it out in our output string, we'll just pop it, like we'll clear the string. So this thing will be gone. Now we'll be left with only plus. Now again we will meet this bracket, and then we can take this out as well. We can put it here, and then we can pop it. So I think the working of this question or the approach to this solution is clear by now. So let's start, coding it. Understood the problem. Without any further ado, let's start coding it. So I'll click on submit, and since I have already submitted it once, I will just simply change the language so that I can go to C++ 17. Oh, I don't have any option. Okay, I will simply erase it, and then I'll start coding it out. So hash include bits stdc++.h. If you have just begun coding, it's better to use this library. We can get all the HTML functions and everything that can make our coding easier. But also make sure before using standard C++ template library, you are well versed with concepts of templates or other functions that you get directly here. Like you should know how to sort things, how to search between things. So that is what I wanted to say. Now let's start coding it again. So using namespace standard. So we'll first take an integer t. We'll read it. These are the basically number of the test cases. And now, while the whole thing is true, like basically, let's say if we get 3 test cases, so it will run as 3, 2, 1, and after 1, it will not hold true, and then it will stop running the loop, and it will come out of it. So now let's initialize a string that we need to read from our grader. So now let's read the string C in S, and then what we want to do, we want to take two things. First thing that we want to use a stack, and second thing that we want to use an additional string which could hold our output string. So let's do that thing. String answer, I'll simply initialize with an empty string as an empty string, and I'll take a stack of characters, and let's call it X. Okay, cool. So now once we have taken the stack and string, we now need to traverse in the string, which is inputted from the system. So let's start it with the index 0, and we will just go with the till the end of the string. So until the string is not empty, or until the string is complete, we'll keep traversing, and we'll just increment our I. Okay, so now we want to write some conditions, check some conditions. So the first condition that we would like to check will be if we are getting simple alphabets or not. Like if you see the input, whenever we are getting alphabets, we are just simply adding it to our string, output string, and we have discussed this previously while discussing the problem. So I will simply use the condition that if it is greater than equal to A and less than equal to Z. Yeah. So what we will do now, we will simply add it to our answer string. So we can do this like this, and the next condition that I would like to check will be for operands. So operands is very important here. Like we could have multiple cases for plus, minus, multiplication, division, remainder, also for power thing. So let's start here, and the first condition that I would like to check is the addition sign, or this is the logical or operator, and basically I'll start copy pasting it from here. Why, I'll tell you later. So basically we need to change this to subtraction, multiplication, division, power, what is left, remainder. Okay, so whenever we'll find these things, we'll simply put it to our stack. Okay, now we'll start storing it in our stack. So we'll use the push function, and we'll provide the element in it, like the argument for this function. Okay, cool. So let's move back to our to checking the conditions. So the next condition that we have discussed earlier, the opening brackets. So whenever we find the opening brackets, we just don't want to do anything. Like we will simply ignore it and move ahead. So that is what we are going to do. We will simply continue. Now the next condition, which is most important probably because it is the ending condition, and we just want to check where we are finding the closing brackets. We have discussed in greater details. If you are again missing it, just check it out. So this is our closing bracket, and now once we have find it, what we want to do now, once we have find the closing bracket, we want to add the operand from the stack to our output string. So what we will do here, that we will first add it to our output string. So how can we do that? X.top function. So whatever will be present on the top of the stack, it will simply copy it to the answer string. Okay. And the next thing that we now want to remove that thing from our stack. So let's say if we have added one operand from stack, the output string will now clear it simply. Okay. Cool. So let's move forward. Coming out of the loop. Okay, so we have came out of the for loop now, and now we'll simply see out it, like we'll print it, print the answer string and a new line, and that's it. I think we are good to go. Let's run it. Okay, so we are getting outputs here. I think it is correct, and let's submit it. Okay, let's wait for it while it is getting submitted. All right, so we have submitted our problem and